You would never knowingly give your baby something toxic. But if you've bought baby food in the last year, you probably already have, multiple times, without knowing it. A recent global review found that almost 3/4 of the baby food on our shelves is contaminated with arsenic, 73%. When I found this out, I went straight to my own pantry, and I found 3 of these brands sitting right there. That sick feeling you might have in your stomach right now. I had it too. I trusted the labels. I did everything I thought was right. Here's the part that should make you angry. The companies know. They have their own internal test results showing the heavy metals, and they sell the products anyway. They hide behind cute packaging and organic labels. But today, that stops. I'm going to show you exactly which products to avoid, and then I'm going to give you a list of the ones that are actually safe to buy. We're going to start with the 4 you need to get out of your house immediately. And the first one on the list is probably the most common first food recommended by pediatricians for generations. Let's start with the one you've definitely seen. It's in every grocery store. It might have been the very first solid food you gave your baby. Gerber rice cereal. For generations, pediatricians have told parents to start with this. Fortified with iron, easy to digest. You see the Gerber baby, you see the name, and you trust it completely. I know I did. This was the first food I gave my son. For months, I mixed it into his purees, thinking I was doing the right thing. When I saw the data, I felt sick. My stomach dropped. If you have a box of this in your house right now, I get it. I did too. You didn't know. Now you do. Here's the problem. The 2021 Congressional Report on Baby Food blew the doors off this. It revealed Gerber's own internal documents. They were knowingly using ingredients that tested as high as 98 parts per billion for inorganic arsenic. Arsenic, a known neurotoxin. For context, the FDA's limit for bottled water is 10 parts per billion. The long-term studies are clear. Arsenic exposure in infancy is directly linked to lower IQ and permanent brain development issues. You are trying to build your baby's brain, and this food might be damaging it. My verdict: avoid this one. There are much safer first foods, and we'll get to those. This next one surprised me. Parents' Choice. That's Walmart's brand. You see the rice rusks, the puffs, the snacks. They're incredibly cheap and convenient. When you're trying to stretch $1, you grab them. The packaging looks clean, simple, no frills. You figure, how different can it be? It's just a rice puff. You're trying to save money, not harm your kid. The problem is, you have no idea what you're actually buying. You have no idea what's inside that bag. When the Congressional Committee launched its investigation, they asked 7 of the biggest baby food companies for their internal testing data. 4 of them complied. 3 of them refused. Walmart was one of the 3 that refused to cooperate. They provided zero information, nothing. Given that rice-based products are the single highest risk category for arsenic contamination, that silence is deafening. They are leaving parents completely in the dark. A company that won't show you its safety data doesn't have safety data worth showing. It's a total gamble. Leave it on the shelf. Okay, now for the one that made me the angriest, beech nut. You've seen their glass jars, the Naturals line. The label might just say, sweet potatoes and water. It feels so clean, so simple, like the next best thing to making it yourself. You're buying the brand, but really, you're buying that feeling of safety. That's the trust they sell you in that little jar. The problem is, it's a complete lie. It's a betrayal. Here's what they hide. The congressional report revealed their own internal documents. Some of their ingredients, the ones they put in those natural jars, tested as high as 356 parts per billion for cadmium and over 886 parts per billion for lead, 886. There is no safe level of lead for a developing brain. The company knew they had their own internal limits for lead and still sold products that tested at 5 times that limit. After all this came out, they only recalled a fraction of their products. It was an insult. This one is a hard no. Leave it on the shelf. Forever. If this is making you angry, good. If you're getting value from this, hit like and subscribe. I spend weeks digging through these reports and studies so you don't have to. It's a lot, but it's important. Now let's keep going, because the list of foods to avoid isn't over yet. Let's talk about the one that really hurts. Happy Family Organics. You might know it as Happy Baby. You see that name, and you think you're safe. It's organic. It's in all the health food aisles. You pay more to do the right thing. You grab their superfood puffs for your toddler, you see the friendly packaging, and you relax, thinking you've dodged the bullet. But you haven't. Here's the thing that should make you furious. The investigation found their finished products contained up to 180 parts per billion of inorganic arsenic. It gets worse. The report revealed they often used ingredients, like rice flour, that they knew were high in arsenic. Even though they had cleaner options available to them, they had a choice. They knew which ingredients were safer, and they still used the contaminated ones. This proves the organic label doesn't protect your baby from heavy metals. It's a marketing term they hide behind. It's a betrayal of your trust. My verdict is simple. This one's a no. Okay, that's a lot to take in. I know. If you're angry right now, good. Use that. If you're feeling guilty, just stop. Right now, you didn't know. None of us knew. The fact that you're here, watching this, proves you're exactly the kind of parent your kid needs you to be. You're doing the work. And honestly, you've earned some good news. You came here for answers, not just problems. And I promise, there are good companies out there. There are safe foods to buy. Now let me show you what to get instead. Now for some good news. Let's talk about what you can actually trust. The first one is Serenity Kids. This brand does it right. They have the Clean Label Project Purity Award, which means they are serious about testing for contaminants. They test every single batch of their finished product, and you can scan a QR code on the package to see the results for yourself. That's real transparency. They focus on low-risk, high-nutrient ingredients like pasture-raised meats and organic vegetables, and they completely avoid rice. You can find them at Whole Foods, Target, and on Amazon. They're a bit pricier, but you are paying for peace of mind. This one is a safe choice. Here's another fantastic option. Once Upon a Farm. You might recognize this one because it was co-founded by Jennifer Garner. They also have the Clean Label Project Purity Award, and they focus on organic, cold-pressed fruits and veggies. That cold pressing process is key. It helps preserve nutrients without high heat. More importantly, they entirely avoid high-risk ingredients like rice, so the risk of arsenic contamination is dramatically lower. You can find their pouches in the refrigerated section at most major stores, including Target and Walmart. They aren't cheap, but for a convenient, clean, and widely available option, you can feel good about this one. If you want a brand that's leading the charge for industry-wide change, look at Yumi. They were the first company to sign the Baby Food Safety Act, pushing for stricter regulations for everyone. They have a strict zero-rice policy. Their puffs, for example, are made from sorghum flour, which is a much safer grain than rice. And their transparency is top-notch. They test for over 400 contaminants, including heavy metals, and publish the results. You can find their cereals, puffs, and bars at Target and Whole Foods, or order directly from their site. For setting a new standard, this one gets a green light. This next one was founded by a neurosurgeon, and it shows Cerebelly. The brand's whole mission is to provide specific nutrients for a baby's brain development. It's the first shelf-stable baby food to receive the Clean Label Project Purity Award. Here's what makes them unique. Their formulas include 16 key brain-supporting nutrients, and some of those, like vitamin C and iron, can actually help block the body's absorption of heavy metals like lead. It's a double layer of protection. You can find them at Target, Walmart, and on Amazon. For a science-backed approach, this is a very smart, safe choice. Okay, but what about those puffs? Every parent needs puffs. The safe swap is lesser evil grain-free puffs. This is your direct replacement for all those rice-based puffs we talked about, because they're made from things like cassava, chickpeas, or other grain-free sources. They don't have the arsenic problem that plagues rice products. You're getting the same convenience and the same snackable texture for your toddler, but without the invisible risk. You can find them at Whole Foods, on Amazon, and in the snack aisle of more and more grocery stores. It's a fantastic, safe swap for snack time, and you do not have to spend a fortune to keep your baby safe. Here's your budget-friendly staple, Nature's Path Organic Rolled Oats. It's that simple. Multiple studies have confirmed that oat-based cereals have significantly lower levels of arsenic than rice-based cereals. This makes plain, organic oatmeal one of the safest and cheapest first grains for your baby. You can find it in any grocery store for just a few dollars. You can mix it with fruit, yogurt, or just serve it plain with water or milk. It's a safe, easy, and affordable staple. Of course, the safest option is always the one you make yourself. Making your own baby food gives you 100% control over the ingredients, and it's easier than you think. You don't need fancy equipment. Just focus on mashing or blending low-risk, high-nutrient foods. Things like avocado, banana, beans, lentils, plain yogurt, and cooked eggs are all excellent. For vegetables, peas, green beans, and zucchini are all safer bets than root vegetables like carrots and sweet potatoes, which can pull more metals from the soil. You control the ingredients, you control the safety. It's also the cheapest option on this list. For toddlers, finding a safe snack bar can feel impossible. They're often full of sugar, fillers, and rice products. The simple, clean alternative is that's it. Mini fruit bars. The ingredient list tells you everything you need to know. It's usually just two things, fruit and fruit. For example, an apple and a mango. That's it. There are no added sugars, no preservatives, and most importantly, no high-risk grain fillers that could be hiding heavy metals. They're a perfect, portion-sized snack for on the go. You can find them at Target, Costco, and on Amazon. Simple, clean, and safe. Finally, one last tip, and it might be the most important. Swap juice for water or milk. Fruit juice, especially apple and grape juice, is a known source of arsenic and lead contamination. Plus, it's loaded with sugar your baby just doesn't need. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends no juice at all for babies under 1 year old. They aren't getting any nutritional value they can't get from an actual piece of fruit. The healthiest, safest, and cheapest drink for your child is, and always will be, water and milk or formula. So let's make this simple. Here's your list. Get Gerber's rice cereal, Parents' Choice snacks, beech nut jars, and Happy Family organics out of your cart and out of your house. They aren't worth the risk. Instead, you're going to fill your pantry with brands that actually earn your trust. You're going to buy Serenity Kids, Once Upon a Farm, Yumi, and Cerebelli. For snacks, you'll grab Lesser Evil Puffs and That's It bars. Your new staple grain is simple organic oatmeal, and whenever you can, you'll make your own food. You now know what most parents will never find out. You can walk into any grocery store and see straight through the lies on the labels. You are no longer guessing, you are informed. Think about that friend who just had a baby, your sister, the new mom in your neighborhood Facebook group. They are buying these same toxic products right now, at this very moment, thinking they're doing the right thing. Send them this video. It's not just about sharing information, it's about protecting our own. Next, I'm investigating toddler milk and transition formulas, and the marketing tricks are even worse. Like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss it. You came here to protect your kid. Now you can